would say most of my friends have been impacted by the housing crisis. Like, I know people that are paying $2,000 for a 2-bedroom in Logan.
Sometimes you're limited on the activities you can do or the food you can buy for things like that, just because you might not have that affordability of housing.
I have adult children and grandchildren that have had to move back in with me. I've had an elderly sister that almost had to move back in with me. We've been stuck living in an RV for the last 5 to 6 years.
And that has gone to a point where a lot of community members and planning commissions for municipalities believe that our open landscape is so valuable that we should not develop any affordable high-density housing. And that is in part causing the housing crisis here in Cache Valley.
You know, cities could manage it by changing some of their policies and procedures or some of their code in order to accommodate smaller housing or developments of that nature.
One of the things I often hear is people think that our housing crisis is caused by outsiders coming into our valley. If you look at the data, 85% of our growth is our own children. Our own kids and grandkids are who are driving most of our growth.
We have an amazing economic atmosphere here in the state of Utah, but also we value families. We have large families, and that's something that we hold dear. And so through the misconception that these people are coming from outside, it's our own talents, our talented children and their grandchildren that want to stay and take advantage of these jobs and this economic entrepreneurial atmosphere that we have in Utah, and it's our own growth that's fueling this.
So I have a lot of thoughts about how we can provide incentives for developers to provide a variety of housing options. Cities have a lot of ability to control the land use within their boundaries. And oftentimes, local governments, we will write codes to try to prevent the very worst from happening. So we'll see a bad example somewhere and we'll have fear that that could potentially repeat or happen within our city. And so we write really restrictive codes to prevent something like that from happening.
Sustainment is met at about a 1/4 acre lot. Hyde Park City's been built on 1/2 acre lots. It's just not sustainable. Well, we're gonna allow smaller lots. Now who's gonna wanna do a bonus density? We already have that allowed.
Density is fine, it doesn't hurt, but planning it in the right way is the important aspect. And creating some good competition amongst renters, maybe we can get the affordability to come down a little bit. You look around this valley and it's a beautiful place to live. And I think some people are like, well, this density is gonna ruin this beauty for us. And I think that's not correct.
And one of the things we've tried to do in planning is to make housing available in walkable areas so that people will be driving less. And I think that's one of the misconceptions. And I think this is, the housing crisis. There's a shortage and people don't really understand that multifamily housing would really help the crisis.
So one of the things that we can do to preserve open space is to plan better so that we have the housing in places where we've already decided is best for housing, and we preserve places that are best for agriculture. We preserve places that are best for wildlife. We preserve places that are best for recreation. If we plan properly, we can have both available housing and preserve our beautiful green open space.